There's a very, very high level of due diligence that's undertaken on these projects that you wouldn't see on a normal project. Realistically, you're going to hire somebody to highlight every single risk you can think of on that project and then make sure that there's a mitigation strategy involved for it. And through doing that, as you mentioned, Darren, you're driving innovation to how are we going to mitigate this risk? You know, is the service provider going to be handling the FM risk involved with this? In the meantime, that person is going to be, the FM provider or the service provider is going to be integrated into your design team, offering their advice on, you know, the number of projects that they're out servicing right now, and looking at life cycle costs, maintenance costs on those, and maybe you're looking at a higher initial investment on a project for a mechanical or an electrical system, but it's easier to maintain over the life cycle of the project and has actually a less life cycle expenditure requirements throughout the period. So you see that. You see this due diligence, which really feeds back into highlighting all the risks. The schedule is a big one we key in on. The amount of scheduling work that goes into these projects is phenomenal. The schedule is truly a living item that they're constantly working on every single day. The contractors are working on these schedules to make sure they're going to finish on time, because the contracts are very punitive if they don't. So in that sense, again, you're driving efficiencies to how can we build this faster? Do we use different construction techniques, new construction techniques? You can't just stay with the same old. I think those are a couple of key factors that really help.
Kyle, anything from your perspective?
I think the one thing I would add is that, you know, integrating the full life cycle of these assets through the P3 model is something that, that drives a lot of value. At the end of the concession period, you essentially get a like new asset. I mean, how many times can we say that on projects that were done in 1970 that we're getting them now like new? I mean, it just doesn't happen. So for me, that's the one thing I would add, is that full life cycle approach to asset delivery is something that's very inherent in this model. It works very, very well.